Hi, Vadd here, and welcome to episode 13 as we make our way further into Ark Reborn. That's right, Annunaki Genesis Reborn. It's got some Extinction core, it's got some Annunaki, and today's the day that we are going to check out the Champion tier. We've talked a little bit about this tier before in the beginning of the series, right at the start. Hey, while we're going over the center map, it is a fairly pretty map. You know, there's a swamp right under us. There's some snow on our left. To our right, we have that giant floating island. And then directly ahead of us is the volcano. You know, part of why I don't know what these are. I know they're bosses, but they seem to be completely random when they show up. And they seem to be gone by the time I try to get to them. I'm not sure how I'm going to make those episodes when we get to fighting those bosses, but rest assured we're going to try and fight them, and we just don't still know when they show up or why they show up, like which ones are going to show up when. It doesn't seem to be much rhyme or rhythm. I don't know if it's tied to some time in the day or just, you know, the world's been running for, you know, X amount of Ark days or X amount of time outside of Ark, you know, standard time. Hey, listen, we're here to tame some of the Champion tier. The Champion tier, one way we can tell it's the Champion tier is, can you put a platform saddle on it? Question mark, right? And a second way you can tell is they have those giant glowing white eyes. That is a pretty key clue that this is a Champion tier, and I'm pretty thrilled that we could get a breeding pair, a male and a female Champion Brachiosaurus. Not a Bronto, okay? It's a Brachiosaurus. It's a little different, looks just like a Bronto, but I'm fairly confident it's significantly larger. What is chomping? There's a third one I was going to try and tame. Do you see? There it is. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and tame our second one, and then we're going to maybe tame the third one if things go well. No, yeah, I thought I saw a Spino. I heard something. Not exactly sure what it was. It's a vanilla, big air quotes, but it's a vanilla Spino. No elemental tears, not corrupted, nothing like that. Just your regular Spino, but it can't see us. Remember, we have that War Chief hat on, and that Alpha hat, we're just invisible, and it spooks me out. But as you can see, this Spino pretty much destroyed everything. It's highly aggressive, it's very well hydrated, and I'm terrified. I don't know what we're going to do about these Spinos, but I do know it's time to give this bow another test. Can we stun lock a Spino? You know, if we were in a tribe right now, we wanted to try and take down the Spino or get it down to that 1% health for a chance of getting the egg, because it is a female, and that is something we are working towards here. Should we try to use the bow? How does it do? This is the time to test it out. Well, yes, it is taking that electrocution, which is important, which is good. However, now it can see us, and I'm not exactly sure if I'm just completely missing it here, but it's pretty much healing right through my damage. We don't do nearly enough damage for this creature. Yeah, we're dead. Okay, so that was a shame. Never fear, though, we did successfully tame our Champion tier. This is our first tame in the Champion tier, these Brachiosauruses, and we do have a breeding pair. Now, it's tough to appreciate just how massive this dino is when you meet it out in the wilds, because it just seems to kind of do its own thing. You know, we don't have anything for scale, but I love the colors. We've got a little bit of a pink underbelly on one, a little bit of a kind of a tan yellow off-white underbelly on the other, and if all goes well, we will go ahead and get ourselves some eggs. It's tough to appreciate just how big these creatures are. They're big, they're fast, they've got the glowing eyes, but how big is it? Well, we are gonna give it a run for its money. I've been doing a little measuring. It's about 20 to 22 foundations long, a little tough to tell with the tail swing. And as you can see, it's clearly taller than the behemoth gates. We built these kind of glass boxes in past episodes, and I have no idea what I'm going to do with something this big. This thing is so stupidly monstrous, it doesn't fit anywhere. Okay, we do need to see if we can get it through a behemoth gate. You know, it's a little ghosty, a little glitchy with its model, but maybe maybe it doesn't even fit through the behemoth. It's just so big. I didn't realize how big it was till I had like a real frame of reference. You see them out in the wild and they're stomping around, but they just look, you know, dino size. They're next to all these other dinos, but once I can start measuring them with a foundation, it really shows how much larger these champion Brachiosauruses are. Yes, they do take Bronto saddles, thankfully, so we can get them a platform, we can get them just a standard ride-along saddle, clips through the model a little bit, not a big deal, we're just happy to have a saddle, and the model is a little ghosty. Obviously, this doesn't feel balanced for PvP. I'm very curious if a wild dino would aggro onto us if we were inside of the champion Brachiosaurus. I think it still will. They're pretty fast. Part of the benefit of taming a champion tier is they're just not slow. You know, when you go and tame a regular Bronto, they are so slow. You're not going anywhere. Well, the champion tier, the trade-off here is that it's fast. We don't lose the speed, and we have pretty standard Bronto attacks. I know it's a Brachiosaurus. I know. I'm saying Bronto. We have a Bronto saddle on it, but it is a Brachiosaurus. It is a champion Brachie, and it's cool. We can put a platform saddle on it, which means we can build a base on it. It's always kind of fun to have a mobile base. Remember, if you build anything on a platform saddle and then you try and cryopie it or soul ball it, it'll completely destroy whatever you've built. I actually got a warning. I tried to use the soul gun on it. It's like, yeah, you can't do that. You built stuff on the platform saddle, which was awesome because I'm still trying to measure here. It was tough to measure. That's the bottom line. And look at the egg. These eggs are bigger than we are, which is kind of simultaneously hilarious while also being kind of like a you've got to be kidding me moment. So we're going to hatch this egg, and we're going to try and get the champion Brachiosaurus through a behemoth gate. There's not a bigger gate in Ark. We can't get a bigger gate, and we fit through it by, I assume, dark magic. This is some kind of Brachie magic, but the building isn't quite large enough for it. I mean, it's a huge structure. Think when you're playing Ark, when do you build a base as big as the base I built? Maybe you do. Maybe this is a regular sized base for you, but this base I kind of felt was a little extra, and frankly, we didn't build it big enough to fit our dinos in. I can't believe that the champion Brachie does not fit in anywhere. I don't have anywhere to put it. Just we can, you know, send it on. It can walk the plank and die, but we don't want that. Listen, what are we going to do with this thing? I don't know. We tamed it. It's faster than a Bronto. We could definitely harvest berries, but that was the whole reason we built the berry warehouse. I don't really know where a champion Brachiosaurus fits in the progression. We could build a base on it, but would we? I don't know. How safe would we be? We saw that vanilla Spino, you know, just kind of a regular tier Spino. It was clearly aggressive towards the Brachiosaurus. Without our alpha hat, it would be aggressive towards us. Hey, I'm always doing a random shout out to the subscriber pool. Thank you, Kathy M. Thank you, Vitalik, and thank you, Yellow Orange. If you would like a chance to get mentioned in a future video, subscribe now. Right now, push the subscribe button. Thanks. I love how the champion Brachies come out of this egg smaller than the egg they were in. I really do appreciate that. It's a little detail. It might have been a complete accident that it exists this way, but facts are we do have two champion Brachies, and they're pretty adorable. I mean, they're smaller than we are. They start so small to end up so big. We know that they should fit through here because they're gonna fit through a behemoth gate, but really I have no idea what we're gonna do with something that's this big. Where does it fit? You know, there's actually one other creature in the champion tier that I have no idea how to pronounce. It starts with an A, ends with a P. It's another long neck kind of Bronto. You gotta love the trees here. Nice job, cameraman. I cannot believe that's the angle I got there. Listen, it's a long neck boy, long neck girl, whatever you want to call it. I don't know how do you say this thing, but it's another champion tier. There's supposed to be a champion, I believe, Moza, and a champion Plesiosaur. Neither of those have spawned in, so I've been unable to collect them. And I would assume that there might be a champion Titanosaur. I've yet to see a Titanosaur, but it is another creature you can get a platform saddle on. All that being said, the Apatosaurus? Apatosaur? I don't know. However you say this thing, we're going to tame one of these. We're going to go ahead and put a golden treat in the inventory. We're going to continue to take advantage of these incredibly powerful taming tools that the mod provides for us. Oh my goodness, are they strong? What are we going to do now? Well, is it bigger? Is it smaller? We have to know. We just have to know. And facts are, from here, from way down here, it looks like it's roughly the same size. I mean, it's really tough to tell. I guess we're going to need a bird's eye view. Again, it's just stupidly huge. I get it. It's the champion tier. It moves a little faster, meaning it might be worth... Or a parasaur. You would think there'd be a champion parasaur. Haven't seen one of those. This bad boy takes some Brachiosaurus. Maybe it's a good boy. What do I know? I gotta tell you, I edited out a lot of footage just trying to move these things around the floating island base. Sky Captain base was not built for something this big. I mean, it kind of is, but not something with this wide of a turn radius. We'll again give it a little measurement in the giant glass box, and yeah, we're looking at another creature that's around 20 foundations long and is also bigger than a behemoth gate. What do you do with these things? If you have a suggestion, I'm all ears, but since they're not high enough up the tiers to not be aggressive, you know, under attack from other, you know, carnivores, then why would we make a base on them? We're just, you know, sitting wait, and if we need berries, we would get a parasaur. They're cool. They're a neat addition. They do add something that's a little better than just a vanilla version. I like that we have two variations. They are slightly different shapes. I think the Brachiosaur is just a little chunkier, just a little thicker, but it looks like the one that starts with an A, the long neck closest to us, it's a little taller in the way it kind of arches his neck. They're identical. That's as far as I can tell from the tools they can do, or the resources they gather, or the stats I'm getting on them. They seem very similar. Obviously, I'm getting different colors, and maybe you've had a different experience with these creatures. I would love to hear about your suggestions for not just what to do with something that it's just huge. It doesn't fit anywhere. I don't know. Maybe there's some secret to these creatures. I don't know. Tell me, please. I am all ears. I am always open to suggestions and what would be an optimal thing to do. We can put some names on them. We can go fight something. I don't know what will successfully kill, but maybe we'll just pump a bunch of melee. I kind of want to build a base on one, but again, that's what the Sky Captain base is for. It's a little late in progression for us to be able to successfully tame these. The only other champion creature that's spawned in on the map to date, this is something I'm checking on the regular, is the Quetzal. The Quetzalcoatlus, whatever you want to pronounce it. Listen, it's a big flying bird, and we're going to take out our poison tier Pteranodon. Remember, we do have some poison tier tames, and the poison tier elemental tame does do damage to the Toper bar. Let's check it out. This creature only has 8,000 Toper. We're hitting it for about 5,000. This is a super buffed up, bred, 100% imprinted. You know, we've put stats in places it needs to have stats, you know, stamina, attack, you know, health points, a little bit of weight, the usual stuff. But we're going to have a nightmare of a time trying to tame this like this. We just don't do enough sustained Toper damage. By the time we catch up to the Quetzal, maybe if we made a slower one, you know, when we start flying, we just fly so fast past this. Could be my own mistake for just not being good enough at driving this, but I don't see why we should continue to get dizzy and chase it when we have these arrows that are so incredibly good. Even if we did successfully trank out the champion Quetzal here with the poison elemental tame, we would still shoot it with one of these arrows just to lower its food. It's just that valuable to save you that much time to know that it's going to be hungry and going to want to eat when you're going to tame it. It's going to take a few shots, but the center map has all these great pillars. We can grapple around and we can parachute and jump off. You know, the other thing I didn't mention about the long necks is if you build a base up there, you have to have a parachute. You take fall damage. We've tried Prime Cloth, Prime Hide, and Prime Gilly. All of them were taking fall damage when we come flying off. Not a big deal, but it's something to think about. If you're going to ride those beasts, if you're going to build on those beasts, if you're going to go on adventure or farm on those beasts, you're going to take fall damage every time you dismount. Oh man. Okay, Quetzal down, thankfully not in the water. That was pretty lucky. I guess we could whip out a lasso if things got wrong. Anyhow, let's see what the food is. Yeah, completely empty on food. These arrows are so great. Really smooths out the taming process. And of course, we built a berry warehouse. We got ourselves set up in the first 10 episodes here to have a stable supply of golden treats. What's next? Well, we need to check it out. What does it look like? Is it going to be stupidly huge? I couldn't really tell when it was in the air whether it would be big or not, and it's big. I thought this would be enough room. Oh man. The good news is Champion Quetzal takes a standard Quetzal saddle, which of course come in platform and just the ride-along variant, and it's just massive. This is a more useful tame because it can fly. I can fit this places. Obviously, we could just soul ball them and forget about them, but that's not any fun. I'm open to any and all suggestions for what you would like to see done with these champion tier creatures. Which one's your favorite? Do you have any names that you think would make a good fit for them? I'm Vadd, this is episode 13. Until next time, please, if you learned something or enjoyed this video, share it with a friend. If you are new here, please consider subscribing. If you have joined and enjoyed before, welcome back. If you would like to see more quality content, please consider joining me in supporting the channel through Patreon and utilizing the affiliated links. Thanks.